is October the 30th, and we are painting or drawing constellations today. I have a couple of images that I'm going to look at working from. Just going to see who is here, and then we can get started. Did everybody have a good weekend? My weekend just flew by. I'm not sure if I did anything, well, I know that Saturday was crazy busy with meets, and then we went to a 50th surprise party. Hi, Meryl. And then yesterday we had a catch up and draw, and then the rest of the day I think I spent making food for my in-laws and cleaning the house a little bit, and I don't know, the weekend just flew by. So this is the image that I would like to work from. Hi, Meryl. Are you painting this morning, Meryl? I am going to do a little bit of a flip through of what we have so far while everybody joins, and then we can see where everybody's at. And I'm trying to find my calendar that has all the prompts on. Here we go. Here we go. So it started with City Cat. That was our first prompt. Meryl says yes, she is working on it. Then we had Late Night Swim, which it was kind of a bizarre, I don't know why I chose Late Night Swim, but you know what, it turned out quite interesting to do a study of feet in the water. The next one was Restaurant, so we did some, I think it was some upside down imagery. This one actually, I like how it turned out. This one was with Neocolors. And then we went into the forest, and I have a night scene of a forest, and then did actually 2 more forests that day. We then moved on to Owl, and this is a hawk owl, and then the moon, which I love this image. This is one of my favorites of all the month that we've done so far. City scene, I have not done city scene yet. It is blank. Hi Maria, good morning. Louise says, morning, can't believe I remembered we are an hour. I know, you're an hour earlier today. Which is really strange to think that you're only 4 hours ahead of us. Then we went into Fox. I didn't do this live, this was done, actually Meryl was there, I think she did her Fox as well. Then we did night skating on a pond, and campfire, or I put campfire, but it was bonfire at campsite was the prompt. And then a city scene. This is also one of my favorites. I have like a handful of favorites that I really enjoyed doing. Raccoon, late night concert, which was of my husband playing, because he had just played in a band that weekend. Hot cocoa by an open fire. That was a little bit, hi Louise. Oh, I did say hi. Yeah, this one was, I think it was the demo that I was trying the So Flat acrylics, which I actually quite like. This is actually in acrylics, and there's a bit of a sheen on it. And this is out on the town. This one was also another one that I really enjoyed doing. This was Candlelit, or Candles. I think it was actually Candles. I changed the names. And then we have a birthday candle, birthday cake and candles. The cake is a little bit, I think I could have made that a little bit more extravagant. Hey Tash. And then we have warm and cozy, which didn't go as well as I wanted it to go. And then we have night skiing, which I also enjoyed that one. And this one I haven't put a title on, so I can do that right now. This one was dinner party. Looks more like a bunch of kids who need something to eat after a party rather than actually having a dinner party. Bats and moths. I just drew moths. And then we had driving down a dark lane, fireworks and sparklers. And that's all I got to. I know that some of you have small child asleep and late night cocoa in the kitchen. And I am so proud of you guys who have been following up and doing your weekend prompts as well. I am a little bit of I neglect, can you be a neglector? No, what would you call yourself if you were, I neglect things, so I'm not a neglector. I'm trying to think. My brain is not thinking. Anyway, I don't usually follow through with the weekend ones because I have other things to do. So today is Constellations, and this is our image for today. And I'm just going to put on Do Not Disturb and block the rotation. Someone will come up with a word for me. Hopefully it's not fuzzy for you. I feel like it's a little bit fuzzy for me, and hopefully it's not. I don't think it's my camera, but I think it's my internet. All right, so I'm changing the composition a little bit of this one. And there are some lights down here. I think this image, actually, they were talking about glowworms or glowflies, or what are they called, those glowflies? But I like the sky in this one, so I'm going to try and get the sky in and then the rest of the scenery. I could, if I wanted to, work the sky as a negative space and make sure that I just go in everywhere. I'm not sure if that's, I think I'll just do the whole sky and then put silhouetted trees over the top. Nobody knows what somebody who neglects things is. A neglector. That is not a word, is it? Neglector. I'm a neglector. No, I don't know. Everyone, I know it's early morning, and you probably also are not really awake to think about words. Or you just don't want to comment this morning, which is absolutely fine as well. And good morning, the others that are here watching. Say hi, tell us who you are, where you're from. It'll be nice to see who is here with us. All right, I have gouache and I have a whole bunch of watercolor pencils because I was working on a watercolor piece, actually Maria's, which I won't show you until it's a little bit further along. I was supposed to finish that yesterday and just got busy making food for in-laws, but that's life, so it'll hopefully get finished today, Maria. Okay, let's have a look. Oh, I have water here that is definitely not clean. Let me just put this away. I have clean water and I have not clean water. I don't think, maybe the comment box is not working today. Is the comment box working, everybody? Anybody? Some of you have said hi. Some of you, I know that there's 8 people here, but only 4 people have said hello. And thank you for the thumbs up. I know I haven't really started yet. Okay, let's get some paint on my piece. Louise says, not sure, YouTube was not working well yesterday. Yeah, it's a bit odd, isn't it? Oh, Laura's here. Good morning. Watching for the first time here from PA, Pennsylvania. welcome. Meryl says yes. And Louise says it is, but can't think of a word. All right. Well, let's see. Hi, Marianne. We need a word for somebody who neglects things, because that's what I do at the weekends. I neglect my prompts, which is why next year we're not having weekend prompts. It's just a little much sometimes. And for me too, like just having to think of having to get that done, as well as Patreon meets and commissions and family, and yeah. So sometimes, you know, we all need a break, and my weekends are usually my break. Well, it's not really procrastination, because I don't really want to do it. So I'm really like just neglecting them, like just not, I don't know. Well, I guess it could be procrastination. I don't know. I was gonna say procrastination, but it's more of, yeah, it's more the fact that I just neglect to do them. Is overwhelmed? No, I don't feel overwhelmed at all. I, on purpose, just say, nope, not doing those, because I just can't do everything. So I think it's a good thing to know what you can do and what you can't do, and not feel overwhelmed. I don't like feeling overwhelmed. So I try not to get myself to that point where I'm thinking, okay, this is like really stressing me out. Like I feel like when you're overwhelmed, it's a stressful feeling. So I try not to get there, because I've been there many times with other things that I used to do in my life, and I don't like that feeling. So I'm trying not to put that pressure on me. Self-preservation. Yeah, well, that's self-preservation. Yes, that is. A weekend prompt rebel. Yeah, that could be it. That's why I'm changing it up, and we're not having weekend prompts next year. If you did come to the meet on, oh, it needs to be much bluer, this sky. If you came to the meets at the weekend, you will know that I'm very excited about next year's prompts, and they will be released to Patreons probably before the world, but I'll have a PDF. If you're not wanting to join a Patreon group, which is absolutely fine, then the PDF of the whole year will be available on my Etsy store. But if you want to join our Patreon family, we get to add images each month so that we know what we're working on in the morning. So for example, this image, all our Patreons have, and this way they can work on them together with us in the lives or not. I may also, I know that I leave a lot of the live mornings up on YouTube, but as of 2024, I'm going to leave them up for a week, and then they'll be accessible to patrons, because I feel like these mornings, not that I'm really teaching you anything, but they're demos, right? They're art demos. So I feel like definitely if people enjoy them, then the benefit of being a patron will be there too. All right. Okay, I'm going to get it a little bit darker up here. It's very wet, so I'm not sure if I should maybe take the dryer and dry it quickly. Let me try and get some yellow down the bottom there. Oh, Louise says, I constantly feel overwhelmed. Well, yeah, I understand that. And the other Louise says, I'm also always overwhelmed. Tash says, choosy. Maybe I'm choosy. Yeah, I could be choosy. I like the weekend prompt rebel though as well. All right, let's have a look. Oops. Oops. Thank you all for joining, by the way. It's really nice to have company in the morning when I'm painting. I guess these are Shannon's last 2 days of birds. Louise, I have to go back and do your pigeons. Louise has pigeons and she's in Spain, but she has these wonderful pigeons that she lives with, and they're adorable. And last week Shannon had Louise. Louise, were you live with your pigeon or did you just take photos? I can't remember. Did you do a live session? It felt like they were live. Okay, this is a little bit wrong. I need to add some warmer yellow. I don't want it to get green, you see. My water gets so dirty so quickly. Okay, let's see. No, I think I definitely have to. Can I get a little bit of this in here? I want this to be warmer. Well, if you are just joining and you're watching, welcome. I think I did. PA is Pennsylvania, right? Pennsylvania, isn't that just on, like, near Ohio? Trying to get my states right. Don't I drive through Pennsylvania? If I go to Ohio and I go along the lake, like Lake Erie, is that Pennsylvania? Like the top of Pennsylvania? I know that Pennsylvania is obviously bigger than just that little tiny area. Good morning, C. How are you? Are you feeling good this morning, C? I loved your pictures from the cottage. Look, it looks lovely. Lovely and fall-like. Can you believe that we are going into winter again? It comes around so fast. All right. I'm gonna just dry this quickly and then I can put some stars on. Next week is going to be fun because we're heading into our time change, which means it'll be an hour earlier. So for anyone in the States, that's going to be a little bit hard because it'll be like 6 a.m. I don't know. Do you guys convert? Like when the time changes, do you get all messed up and be like, oh, it's only 6 o'clock? I try not to do that because it's similar to when you're traveling. You don't want it to rule your life. Okay, I'm looking. Oops. I disappeared. Okay, let's have a look. Here it is. Okay. Lots of stars at the top, less stars down the bottom. I'm just covering my iPad so I don't get splatters on it. So I'm taking a bristle brush and doing this, and I feel like it needs a tiny, tiny little bit more water. Oh, it is not. It's having a hard time with this brush. I'm gonna break my pencil. Now, do I look up constellations and put a couple of constellations on here, or just make a very starry sky? Louise says, you only get messed up when you think about it too much. Yes, I think you're right. And C says it was beautiful by the lake. And Laura says, always get messed up with time change. It needs to go away. It does need to go away. I think, like, who is it who decides that the time changes? We need to talk to them and tell them that no one wants the time to change. Like, literally, around the world, stop it. Stop the time change. Okay, I think I may have enough stars. This color is not the right color. Get a little bit more white, yellow, warmth. Let's have a look. And I just dried it, so that's going to be better to work with on. Oh, I have this lovely big brush that I can use. And now that all of our devices change, the time automatically, yes, it's true. As long as you get up and you just, you know, get on with your day, don't think about it, I think that's helpful. It messes me up a little bit because I have to convert the time, like this week, because Europe has changed, like that messes me up. Like if I want to talk to family over in England. But okay, this is better. I need that glow of the sun setting. And a few little clouds catching the sky. So I was reading a little bit about whites, different whites, and why people use different whites. So you guys probably already know this, but because I needed to order a gouache white, and there was permanent white, there was titanium white, there was oh, what was it called? Not flake white, not feather white. Anyway, there was the permanent white has titanium in it, so it's better for, it's like if you want to make clouds, titanium white or permanent white is so much better because it's definitely more opaque. Whereas the other one, I want to call it feather white, but it's not feather white. It'll come to me. That white is better for mixing. So, but I don't know why. I think because the titanium white, it just makes everything a lot pastier. But if you like pasty and if you like neutral tones, then it's better. So what gouache do I use? Okay, so this one right now that I'm using is the Caran d'Ache set, and it's just because of convenience. But going into Gouache Vember, I am going to be pulling out my traditional gouache, which is, well, I mean, this is traditional gouache here too, so I may use a little bit of a mix, but Winsor & Newton, or I have also the Holbein Artist Gouache as well. And I have to use them because I've had them for almost a year, and I've been dipping into my Caran d'Ache set a lot more because it is convenient, like I said. So really, it doesn't matter. A lot of people use acrylic gouache, which really isn't gouache at all. It's acrylic. But they like the covering, and they like also the fact that you can go over it and it doesn't lift. But for the month of Gouache Vember, I'm definitely going to be using traditional gouache or this gouache set. All right, I'm gonna put, there's a bit of, actually I'm pulling this up a little bit, of the field that has this beautiful orange harvest glow. And then I can take some green into that too. Oh, you have zinc white. Okay, so zinc white, zinc, yeah, maybe it's zinc. Zinc better for mixing. I think zinc is the one that's better for mixing. I have, I just ordered, I don't know if I have any white here. I just ordered a gouache white because I ran out. Oh, I have a little bit. So I think different companies name them different things. So there's primary white as well, and one is a little bit more pasty than the other. So it just depends how you like working. Let's put a little bit of this green in here, make it a little bit, actually I can mix in the blue as well. Because I'm using acrylic for my white right now, only because I've run out of white, and that is making me a little nervous about these mixes right here because I don't want it to dry. So I'm going to have to go over them and just loosen it up and clean them up. Okay, I feel like that. I did actually buy some new brushes. I don't think they're brilliant. Like, I don't think they're, and let me try one. I just got them off Amazon. And it says watercolor, but it was also under when I searched for gouache, because I need some new colors for this month. So I figured I would buy a cheap set. I can use them all month, and then it doesn't really matter. So I'm gonna try one now to see how it is. They're all round brushes. I wanted to get some Hemis because I like the Hemi brushes, but they didn't have any rounds. They had a whole bunch of flats and I think one round in a pack. And I like square brushes too, but I really like round brushes. It's what I usually use. So you should just get what you enjoy using. So I'm going to see how these are and how they hold out. Let's try and get this a little bit brighter right here. I still have to put the silhouette of the trees on here a bit, and it is dry, so that's okay. I mean, the nice thing about the Caran d'Ache set is that you're mixing the colors, but you're not having to, you know. Actually, I should probably get a little container to put my gouache in. I'm gonna do that. I know a lot of you do that, don't you? Okay, I'm mixing the orange into the green to get a little bit more of a olivey green. This can actually be bluer. Some of you have Hemi gouache. They're also really fun to use. I feel like they feel a little bit more like acrylics because of the consistency. Okay, zinc white is better for mixing. Maybe I should have got a zinc white as well. Okay, so these brushes don't seem too bad. Let me me see, because I put water in with this, I don't know if I can, oh, it is lifting a little bit. Maybe I can lift it and blend it slightly. You can see the white is kind of sticking. Okay, so this is going to have to dry because I am going to be putting trees around it. Do I need to put, let me dry it actually. I'm going to dry it with my little dryer. Okay. Now I have black here. Let's see if I've got more black on this one. Oh yeah, I have more black here. So I'm going to, for the silhouettes, I'm just going to use black. Actually, there is a little bit of green up there. Maybe I'll mix a blacky green color. Let's do that. Oh my goodness, my water is so dirty. Can we just quickly chat about classes this week? I was supposed to have the bonus class for the foundation course today, but I had to move it to next week. I forgot that it was my daughter's reading week this week. The one that's just at high school. They do that because they start a week earlier than other schools. It's like a modified program. And I had already booked an appointment for her this morning and I didn't realize, and I saw it in the calendar, and I'm like I tried to change it, but I couldn't. Anyway, so that is going to be next week. You should have got an email and you should have got a notification within Instagram. We have the portraits class today. So excited. We're working with pastels, oil pastels and wax pastels. Oh, I've frozen. Did I freeze? Oh, no, I'm still there. Okay. Yeah, so working with those. And, oh, now my screen is clear. That's good. Working with those, and what was I saying? Yeah, and then tomorrow is acrylic inks. If you don't have acrylic inks and you just want to work with watercolor, you can work with watercolor. If you have regular inks and they're not acrylic, you can work with them. If you want to work with watered down acrylics, so they're a little bit more liquidy, you can work with them. So you don't have to have all the materials that we use in the classes. Just saying, because I don't want you to feel like, oh, you don't have those materials and so you can't do the class. No, you can adjust and modify for sure. Really, it's the whole practice is portraits, so. Okay, I'm going to put my trees slightly to the side here. I'll just do the trunks so I know where they are. This one's very tall. And then on the other side over here, maybe I'll put a little one here. You can basically add whatever you want to your scene. I'm going to also add a little bit of ochre to this color. Because now looking at the scene a little bit closer, I feel like this silhouette back here is not as dark as the foreground. So I'm going to take a little bit of the ochre and make that my mix for the trees. You want to look at the direction of where how the branches come out. If you're doing like silhouetted trees, look at the direction of the branches and try and mimic them, not to overthink it, but just, I feel like if you look at with the way the branches are, if they go up or if they go down or if they are more outside, but these are evergreens, firs, fir trees. So I'm looking at how they're built. And even come down into that area. Sarah says, I didn't appreciate the color white gouache until I tried to paint snow and painting on black backgrounds. I've purchased about 6 different brands. Oh, so Sarah, tell us, because if you've purchased that many brands, you probably know which ones you like best. So can you tell us which ones you prefer and which ones you won't buy again? There we go. It's probably a nicer way of putting the ones that you don't like. And if anybody has any preferences, please tell us. I will read out your comments. Some of these silhouettes you won't even see. For example, over here, I'm still going to do them, but you may not see them because of the trees in front. So I'm in the middle of writing a little bit more of an extensive post on folktale, because I realized after Deborah Stein, who has been on our lives before, she commented and said, please make sure you tag everybody who is hosting, because this way, you know, it's good to cross, and it's not really cross marketing, but it's really about linking the connections and making sure that people can access the host, or they can see your post, or so I'm doing a little bit more of an extensive version. I'll do one also on Gouache Vemba, because I want to also celebrate Courtney and Daria and their efforts that they put in for their month. Because you guys are always really good at mentioning me when we're doing our monthly prompts, and I appreciate that. And so I thought I should probably do it and give a little bit of history behind Folktale Week and how it started. So that'll be on Substack. I will link from Patreon to Substack. I know that some of you, you know, it's too much to have all these places to read, but Substack is a great place for, it's almost like a newsstand. Like, you can read some really lovely writers. A lot of our group has a Substack as well. There's Beth and Jen C. These are all writers. And I think Maria has a Substack, but I'm not sure if she posts to it. Maria, have you posted recently? Okay, so Sarah, any preferences to your gouache? Maybe she's writing a really long message so that we understand which are her preferences. Let us know which gouache whites you prefer. Or does anybody else have a preference in their whites? Okay, Maria says, no, I don't post to Substack. Okay. If you follow Samantha Dion Baker, she has a, if you follow her on Substack, or if you follow her on Instagram, you may follow her on both. She is having, I believe it's Omar Wynn is coming for a sketch session this afternoon. So that is at 3 p.m. if you're interested in doing that. Okay, I need to get some of this, get some silhouettes down here. Just looking at blocking in. I know we put a lot of paint on here, but we don't need all of it. Just change it up a little bit. Get rid of the color because this is all silhouetted. I feel like this grass needs to be a little bit darker, so I may take my green. Who is having a sketch session? Sam Dion Baker, and her Substack is, I'll link it in my stories, Louise. I think it's easier. Sketching, I think it's, oh, what is it? Oh, and the Royal Talons. Okay, Sarah says, oh, C says, I don't post, but I try and read others on Substack. Yeah, I like it. And Sarah says, so far, the Da Vinci, Holbein, Winsor Newton are very familiar, very similar. Okay, I think they need a few layers. And Sarah then says, oh, and the Royal Talons opaque white. Okay, well, let us know which one you prefer. You just said they're similar. Is there a preference, or it doesn't really matter? Like, I kind of like the consistency of the Winsor & Newton more than the Holbein, but I feel like the Holbein, not sure about the white, I haven't really done a test of the whites, but I feel like the Holbein, has more pigment. Some of their colors are a little bit more pigmented, higher pigment content. And those of you who study pigments probably would know as well. I think, Sarah, you look at that, don't you? The pigment content on the side of the... I should learn about that a little bit more. That's where my science brain does not go there. All right. Just dulling this area down a little bit. Don't think it needs to be as bright, but I do want to take it away a little bit. Okay. I like that better. All right, let's get some silhouettes on. Right now, I'm not loving these brushes. I'm okay with them. Okay, there is a little bit of, I see some fences down here. And I think some, maybe not tree, like mini trees, little trees. Just gonna get the silhouette. I'm not gonna do the little glow worms or whatever they are, glow flies. What do you call them? Not glow flies, they have a name. We don't have them in England. Fireflies, thank you, Tash. Um, Laura says, Windsor Designer Gouache White is nicely opaque. Yeah, I kind of like that one too. Tash says, who should I follow on Substack, YouTube, and Insta? Can everyone comment some good ones? I should check it out. Okay. Well, I think you should definitely follow, if you don't follow Dylan, Sarah, and Shannon Hagen on YouTube, you can follow them. They are quite active on YouTube, and they always have drawing sessions on YouTube, which they do live, which is really nice. Obviously, you follow me, right? If you don't follow me, you guys got to follow me. If you're here just watching, you got to subscribe so that you can get notifications. Oh, Laura says we call them lightning bugs. Oh, I like that. Meryl calls them lightning bugs too. Who else? Sandy Hester is another really fun one to follow on YouTube. And then who else is on YouTube? And then on Insta, well, all those people. And then everybody who is here, you should follow them too. And if you're looking at doing Folktale Week, if you go back to my Folktale Week post, there are all the hosts which you could follow. And this way you'll see everybody's pictures when they come up during Folktale Week. You should definitely follow Daria. I think is it Daria Paints and Courtney SF, because they host Gouache Vemba. They're on Instagram. On Substack, oh, and you definitely should follow Beth. And Beth Spencer, she has the Introvert Drawing Club, and she's on Substack, and she's on Instagram. And then, oh my goodness, what's nice about Substack is that once you follow somebody, they recommend other people to follow, so you'll see recommendations from other accounts. Like, for example, Beth will, like, Substack will naturally recommend other reads that Beth reads that you could read. And also on my Substack, I have people who I follow, so you can see who people, like, you'll see who I follow or read. I think it's you see who people read. I think it's more about that. Substack is nice because definitely a large community of writers on there, as well as artists and musicians and a little bit of everything. Sarah says, my tube of Winsor & Newton was really white, but I hated all the binder separation that oozed out of the tube. Yeah. Well, I guess that's also to make sure that it doesn't dry out, right? Okay, let's get this on here. Maybe I'll do a post today on Instagram of who to follow on YouTube and who to follow on Instagram and who to follow on Substack. And then I can pin them to the top, and then everybody can comment underneath. I think that would be a great idea. Yeah, let's do that. I'll do that today while I'm waiting for my daughter. All right. Okay, let's do some, yeah, I'm loving these brushes because they hold the paint and they hold the shape really nicely, so I'm good with these brushes. The name of them is they're called Boxen, and they say they're watercolor paint brushes, but I think they're great for gouache too. Oh, I'm supposed to rinse as much of the glue out as I can before I use them. I'm not very good at following directions. Hmm. Oh well. I think I've probably rinsed out enough of it. Okay, this one was a bit big, but I'm going to make this into a branch which has a lot of fur on it. Okay, so I like the way when I push it up like this that it has the little outward bits. So you almost have to test your brushes out. When you're doing trees, it's a really good idea to see what way your brush makes different marks. So see, when I press it up and out, I get little movements of like irregularities from the end of my brush. But when I push it, if I come down like this, that would be good for probably a tree with leaves, like not a fir tree, an insidious tree. So this way I think would be better for fir. And then your paint has to be of a consistency that it does that as well. So in between here, there are some branches that I can put crossways like this. And then also some of the ends of these trees. Well, I think maybe there's a tree behind this tree, and that's why it looks a little bit different. But variety is key. Make sure that you are really looking at the ways that your little brush strokes can create the illusion of a tree. There's also some more blocky areas. Blocky, like larger areas of foliage or pine needles, I guess would be. Over here is definitely blockier, but I want to see the sky through this area. So you just got to make sure that you are leaving, like when you come away from putting a big blocked area, that you focus on the outside of it as well, like on the edge, to make sure it's a little bit irregular, that it doesn't look like you just put a block of paint on. Meryl says, to neglect is to regard. I know it's to disregard, but I want to know what I am. Am I a neglector? Can I be a neglector, or can I be a disregarder? Just like a driver, right? Like, is there an adjective to neglect? Or do I have to put, is it a to be a neglect? To be neglector. To be a neglect. To neglect. I neglect, but am I a neglector? I don't know. Like a baker, like bakes, but they're a baker. I want to know what I would be. Maybe I just shouldn't be it, and then I wouldn't have to say it. That's probably easier. I know what I do. I disregard the post, but am I a disregarder? No, you can't say that. A prioritizer. Thank you. Louise says, I found you through Emma Carlisle. Oh, well, that's nice. Louise. I wonder how you found me through Emma Carlisle. A slacker. Yeah, I like that too. Am I a slacker? No, I don't think I'm a slacker, because I do it on purpose. So it's not, I choose. I think that one is good. I like Louise as a prioritizer. Okay. Tash says, yes, please, that would be amazing. And C says, that would be so nice. Maybe we could have one for podcasts, one because I know that there's a lot of people who um, love listening to podcasts. I know Meryl always tells us about podcasts that she's listening to. So I will do a post for podcasts, a post for YouTubers, and one for Instagrammers that you think we should all be following. And oh, and also Substack subscribers. Louise says she mentioned you one of her Patreon meets a year ago about doing daily lives. Ah, that was so nice of her. So nice. I know that she did come on a couple of times, not in the lives. Maybe I should ask her if she wants to come on one morning. All right, I think I've done my right hand. Oh my goodness, look at the time. I honestly thought I would have lots of time this morning, but these actually take quite a lot of time. Okay, this is where I'm coming in with a lot of speed. I was talking a lot today. I apologize, but thank you for chatting with me. It's always nice to have a little bit of conversation in the morning, even though I feel like I'm talking to myself sometimes. But you guys helped me get out of that feeling like it's just me talking, so thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And welcome. If you are new here, please make sure you subscribe to this channel. I don't usually do this, like subscribe, like, and give me a thumbs up, but I think it all helps. And you can backtrack and see over 3 years of lives, not just on here, but well, not really on here because here has been quite new, but on Instagram, if you go to the Reels button, there are over 3 years of lives, mornings, because we've been doing this since the beginning of the pandemic, and there are lovely ladies here who have been with us since the beginning of the pandemic. Yeah. And yeah, we're trying to come up with a name. There's been some names that we've kind of thought about. C helped me a little bit this weekend, and I think we want to like celebrate. We don't want to celebrate the coronavirus, but we want to celebrate that that's where we found each other. And I didn't know, but sunburst and starburst is also another word for corona. I'm not sure in what language, but that's what it said. And so I was thinking about that, but then I was thinking maybe we're just the Blue Shine Art Collective and we just keep it as that. And that's kind of shiny, right? It's blue, shiny blue. And yeah. And we were thinking the Sunburst Collective, the Starburst Collective, the Starburst Creatives, anyway, I'm not sure why I think I need like a name for us, but I feel like we're looking back at, you know, the Group of Seven, or I was looking at the Bloomsbury Group, like they have a group name, so maybe it's the Sunburst Group or the Starburst Group. I kind of like the Sunburst Group because I feel like we do burst out in sunshine a lot, and there's a lot of positive energies that get ejected from our souls, which we absolutely love, that positive energy. Okay. It's amazing how much I can talk for a non-talkative person, isn't it? Sorry if you thought you could come here. You know, you can always mute me if you want a nice quiet morning without my voice. Chatting away. That is an option. Thank goodness for the mute button. The blue shine arters. Oh my goodness, that's amazing. I like that, the blue shine arters. Julie says, I thought you were up early this morning. I was up early this morning. Oh no, I forgot the time change. Ah, yes. No, Patricia, did I start earlier? No. We are on our time, the blue shine arters. Yeah, I kind of like that, the blue shine arters. Because we're all arters. I think we should add that to the dictionary as well. You know, the arters. Sounds kind of like the archers. Did everybody get their picture done? And yes, Patricia, our clocks have not gone back. You guys have gone back. So that's why you have to understand the time change. You guys changed time. I know you did, because my parents did as well. Okay, let's put this. We are on our second to last October image, nocturnals. This is supposed to be constellations. Constellations. There, constellations, and it's the 30th of the 10th of 23. Put that on there too. I didn't put a shooting star. I don't know. Those kind of come and go, and I feel like, do you always do that? You're not supposed to say when you saw a shooting star, you just may need to make a wish. That's kind of a thing we do when we go camping. Everybody, thank you for joining. Yes, I know, Patricia didn't either. Patricia, you guys are now only 5 hours ahead of us. So if you're taking my portrait class today, remember, portrait class is at 1 p.m. my time, which is 6 p.m. Europe, like France, Spain, and England, it is just 5 p.m. Okay. Laura, thank you for joining. So happy that you were able to hear. Laura says, I enjoyed watching and drinking a cup of coffee. Good. Yes, you're the late birds, Julie. That's okay. And you were up, like I know, because I spoke to you. Louise says, thank you. Thank you. And take care. Have a good day. I'll see you tomorrow for the last day of the month. And it's Halloween. Bye, everybody.